Netherlands crashed out of the 2026 World Cup in the most brutal way imaginable. A penalty shootout defeat to Morocco, here on FairPlay, Football AI Review. 1-1 after 90 minutes, goalless through extra time, and then 5 kicks of heartbreak that sent the Dutch home. This was a round of 32 knockout at Estadio BBVA in Monterrey, Mexico, and the stakes could not have been more stark. Netherlands arrived as group winners with 7 points, full of confidence after a dominant group stage campaign. Morocco came in as the form side of African football, unbeaten in their last 9 competitive matches, and carrying the belief that they could reach a second consecutive World Cup semi-final. One team would walk away entirely. The Dutch had no significant injury absences heading in, which made Ronald Koeman's selection decisions all the more scrutinized. But the emotional weight on Cody Gakpo was impossible to ignore. Just days before this fixture, the Liverpool forward and his partner Noah van der Bee had publicly announced they had experienced a personal loss. That context would make what happened in the 72nd minute all the more powerful. Koeman set his Netherlands side up in a 3-4-2-1 system, a shape designed to give structural solidity against Morocco's width, while providing the wing-back lanes for Denzel Dumfries and Mickey van de Ven to contribute in attack. Virgil van Dijk anchored a back three alongside Nathan Ake and Jan-Paul van Hecke, with Frenkie de Jong at the base of midfield conducting the play. The intent was clear: control the defensive shape, stay compact, and use the technical quality of Gakpo and Crescencio Somerville in the attacking half spaces to punish Morocco on the counter. Mohamed Ouabi deployed his Atlas Lions in a 4-2-3-1, a formation built for territorial dominance and wide overloads. Neil El Ainaoui and Azzedine Ounahi provided the double pivot, recycling possession with discipline, while Bilal El Khanous roamed dynamically across the number 10 position. Achraf Hakimi, operating from right back, was effectively a third attacking midfielder on his side of the pitch, a permanent threat who created both width and depth simultaneously. The structural mismatch was immediately apparent. Morocco's 4-2-3-1 naturally stretched Netherlands' wingbacks, forcing Dumfries and Van de Ven into defensive tracking duties that limited their attacking contributions. With only 2 recognized forwards against Morocco's compact back four, the Dutch struggled to generate central penetration. Morocco's double pivot absorbed de Jong's influence effectively, leaving the Barcelona midfielder trying to find angles that simply were not there against such organized opposition. The opening exchanges confirmed Morocco's territorial ambition. The Atlas Lions dominated possession from the first whistle, their pass accuracy reaching 91% over the course of the match. El Ainaoui was particularly imposing in the early minutes, winning duels, protecting the back four, and spraying the ball into wide areas where Hakimi could collect and threaten. Netherlands looked reactive rather than proactive, defending deep and depending on their defensive structure to absorb Morocco's pressure. Morocco's best moments before the breakthrough came through Hakimi's extraordinary industry on the right. The Paris Saint-Germain captain registered a tally that tells you everything about the difference in attacking intent between these two sides. Ismail Saibari was also constantly probing, finding pockets between the Dutch lines and testing their defensive resolve with 5 total shots of his own. Netherlands' goal, when it did come, felt almost against the run of play. The 72nd minute will be remembered for a long time in Dutch football. A Netherlands goal kick was won in the middle of the pitch by substitute Wout Weghorst, who had come on just 1 minute earlier. His flick header released Crescencio Somerville, who drove at the last Moroccan defender, drawing him in before slipping a perfectly weighted ball into the path of Cody Gakpo, cutting inside from the left channel. Gakpo finished calmly with his left foot, then was immediately overcome with raw emotion, the goal carrying a weight that went far beyond football. Bart Verbruggen had been relatively untroubled in the first hour, making 2 saves over the course of regular time as Morocco's dominance translated into efforts from distance more than genuine clear-cut chances. But the Moroccan threat never truly abated even after going behind, and the sense that the equalizer was coming grew with every passing minute. Netherlands' inability to hold the ball and relieve pressure left them permanently pinned back. Morocco's response to going behind was to throw fresh legs at the problem. Wabi made multiple changes in the final 10 minutes, bringing on Soufiane Rahimi and Chemsdine Talbi to add directness and energy in the final stages. It was Talbi who delivered the moment that changed everything. Receiving the ball on the left side, he looped across from fully 28 yards into the penalty area in the 91st minute. Issa Diop, arriving unmarked at the back post, connected with a clean header that gave Verbruggen absolutely no chance. 1-1, the ground erupted. At halftime, the assessment was simple. Morocco were the better side, controlling 70% of possession, but Netherlands had done enough defensively to keep it level and had shown they could hurt their opponents on transitions. Koeman's side needed to find a way to hold the ball more in the second half, because surrendering that much territory against a team of Morocco's quality was unsustainable across 2 hours of football. The second half opened with Morocco again asserting their control. El Khanous was the most dangerous player on the pitch in the early moments after the interval, driving forward with purpose and shooting 3 times on target across his 87 minutes. The yellow card for Issa Diop in the 47th minute, after a crude foul on the edge of the box, was a warning sign of the physical commitment Morocco were willing to apply. Netherlands continued to defend in numbers, their back three remaining disciplined, but the attacking threat in the other direction remained intermittent at best. The Dutch double substitution at 71 minutes changed the dynamic decisively, at least momentarily. Koopmeiners and Weghorst replaced Ake and Brobby, Weghorst providing a direct aerial reference point that Brobby had not been able to offer, and Koopmeiners adding a runner from deep to supplement de Jong's distribution. The impact was immediate, producing the goal less than 60 seconds after Weghorst touched the ball in the build-up. It was the kind of substitution that looks inspired for approximately 18 minutes, and then cruel once the equalizer arrives. Morocco's changes in the final 10 minutes, Rahimi, Talbi, El Mourabe, and Yassine arriving in waves, were designed to inject unpredictability into what had become a structured Dutch defensive block. Wabi understood that his side needed chaos in the box, and Talbi's cross for Diop's header was the product of exactly that thinking. 2 fresh attackers, a looping ball, and an unmarked center-back. The kind of combination that ruins tournament dreams. The decisive moment of regulation came in that 91st minute when Diop's header crashed in. Netherlands had been 18 minutes away from the quarter-finals, holding what felt like a hard-earned lead. The equalizer was not just a goal, it was a psychological demolition of everything the Dutch had built in the final quarter of the match, and the momentum shift heading into extra time was palpable. Extra time was everything you would expect from 2 exhausted teams in a World Cup knockout at 95% humidity at midnight in Monterrey. Neither side could manufacture a genuine clear-cut chance across the additional 30 minutes. The fitness demands having stripped away the creative fluency that both squads had shown in the opening 90. Koeman brought on Martin de Roon in the 110th minute for the increasingly labored Frenkie de Jong, and Justin Kluivert replaced Gakpo 3 minutes later, but neither introduction could spark a winner. Morocco were equally cautious, content to defend their numerical security and trust in their shootout preparation. The penalty shootout was a theater of nerve and anguish across 10 kicks. Teun Koopmeiners opened with a composed, precise finish into the bottom corner. Exactly what a first-taker should do. El Ainaoui, Morocco's midfielder who had been the engine of their entire game, then smashed his effort off the crossbar, a miss that seemed to swing the momentum irrevocably toward the Dutch. Then Justin Kluivert, the second Netherlands taker, hit the woodwork as well. Sudden parity and misery, and the shootout was level before it had truly begun. Soufiane Rahimi restored Moroccan faith with a clean conversion to level at 1 apiece, and then Wout Weghorst, who had scored earlier in the shootout era with such emotional weight, stepped up and finished calmly to put the Dutch back in front at 2-1. Chemsdine Talbi, the same man whose cross had produced the equalizer, responded immediately with a composed finish to tie it at 2-2. 4 takers had scored, 2 had missed, and the drama was still building. Quinten Timber was the next Dutchman to step forward, and he hit his penalty horribly wide to the left, the kind of miss that silences an entire fan base. Morocco had an immediate opportunity to take the lead with Hakimi stepping up. The Atlas Lions captain, one of the finest players at this World Cup, struck his effort with power and watched it crash off the left post. 2-all, 6 kicks taken, 4 of them scored, 4 of them wasted. The shootout had become a masterclass in collective nerve failure. Crescencio Somerville bore the impossible weight of being the 5th Dutch taker, needing to score to keep Netherlands alive. He stepped up and struck his effort, and Yassine Bounou, the Moroccan goalkeeper, flew to his right and batted it away decisively with his left hand. That was the moment. Everything rested on Ismail Saibari, who had been relentless for Morocco throughout the entire match. He placed the ball down, took his run-up, and drove it into the low left corner, while Verbruggen dived the wrong way. Saibari tore his shirt off, screaming at the Monterrey sky, as Morocco celebrated a historic elimination of a Netherlands side that had topped their group. The possession statistics tell the story of this match in one brutal number: 70% for Morocco, 30% for the Netherlands. 879 Moroccan passes compared to just 371 Dutch. Yet the XG figures are even more revealing. Morocco registered 0.82 to Netherlands' barely their 0.39. The Dutch were not just defending, they were defending against a team that genuinely created the better chances all night, even if Verbruggen's 5 saves kept the deficit at bay until the shootout. Morocco's attacking threat was real and sustained. 11 total shots to Netherlands' 6, with 5 on target to 2, tells you which team came to play forward football. Numbers that would be extraordinary for an attacking midfielder, let alone a fullback. Saibari added 5 shots and the most important goal of the shootout. Netherlands' attacking figures, a combined XG of 0.39 with just 6 total attempts, revealed a team that survived primarily through structure rather than genuine attacking menace. Bart Verbruggen was the reason this match reached a penalty shootout. 5 saves over 90 minutes, including a crucial intervention in extra time, kept the Dutch in the contest long after Morocco's territorial dominance should have translated into a lead. His handling under high balls was assured, his decision-making quick. For Netherlands, he was the standout individual by a considerable distance, and the cruelty of the shootout ending will not diminish what he produced across 120 minutes. For Morocco, the standout performer was Achraf Hakimi, and the numbers barely do him justice. 1 assist, 159 passes completed, a captain's performance across the full pitch. But Neil El Ainoui deserves recognition alongside him, completing a staggering 196 passes and winning 6 tackles as the combative heartbeat of Morocco's midfield. The missed penalty will sting, but his contribution to the fabric of this performance was enormous. The honest underperformer assessment falls on Brian Brobby, who was withdrawn before the hour mark, having contributed little in the way of a genuine threat. 9 passes, no shots, no real link play to speak of. The physical presence that worked so well in the group stage simply could not find expression against Morocco's organized back four. His replacement Weghorst, ironically, had more impact in the 18 minutes before going off than Brobby managed in 70. Ronald Koeman's tactical decisions will face scrutiny in the days ahead. The choice to set up in a 3-4-2-1 that ceded so much midfield ground was defensively pragmatic but ultimately self-defeating. Netherlands could not hold the ball, relieve pressure, or sustain a lead once they got one. The timing of the substitutions was correct, and Weghorst's immediate involvement produced the goal, but the fundamental problem of being outplayed for the vast majority of the match was a structural issue no substitution could fully fix. This was the first time the Netherlands had faced Morocco in a competitive fixture of this magnitude, and the Atlas Lions emphatically established their credentials as the team that ends Dutch World Cup campaigns. Morocco's combination of tactical organization, individual brilliance in Hakimi, and collective resilience in the shootout suggests a side with genuine quarter-final and beyond ambitions. Netherlands, for all their group stage dominance, were exposed when faced with a team willing to play forward and accept the territory battle. Netherlands' recent form, wins over Tunisia, Sweden, Finland, Malta, and Lithuania, punctuated by draws against Japan and Poland, had painted a picture of a strong, balanced squad. But the group stage in 2026 has a habit of flattering teams against lower-tier opposition, and Morocco's quality was a significant step above anything the Dutch had faced in the preceding weeks. The 7 points from the group stage count for nothing now. Morocco arrive at this tournament having drawn with Brazil and beaten Haiti, Scotland, Congo, Zambia, Niger, and Tanzania in their pre-tournament build-up, carrying genuine confidence and form. The 4-2-3-1 under Wabi is becoming increasingly refined, and this result against a tournament favorite Netherlands side confirms they are genuine contenders. Their next fixture is a quarter-final against Canada on the 4th of July, a match they will enter as clear favorites on the basis of this performance. With Netherlands eliminated, the qualification picture from their group becomes a footnote. Morocco advance as the surviving round of 32 team from this tie, and they do so with statistical backing. They were the better team over the entire 120 minutes, even if the scoreline suggests a close contest. Canada, who have home tournament support and physical directness, will be Morocco's next challenge, but on this evidence, Wabi's side are well equipped to handle it. The remaining road for Morocco is not simple. The quarterfinals at a World Cup are where the true contenders separate themselves, but a team that can dominate possession at 70%, absorb a sucker punch goal, equalize in injury time, and then keep their nerve in a shootout has the psychological and tactical tools to go deep in this tournament. Netherlands had the pedigree. Morocco had the quality on the night. The verdict is unambiguous. Morocco were the better team across 120 minutes, deserved to win, and delivered when it mattered most in the shootout. Cody Gakpo's goal had that heartbreaking quality of brief, beautiful hope, scored through personal grief and extinguished by a header in stoppage time. The Dutch go home despite topping their group, a reminder that tournaments are decided in knockout football, not in points tallies. Coming up on FairPlay, our coverage continues as Morocco prepare to face Canada, and the question of just how far this Atlas Lions side can travel in 2026 gets more compelling with every passing match. That's the FairPlay verdict on this one. If you want more analysis like this, follow us. Find us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at FairPlay AI, and follow Anthony personally on X at Anthony Fairplay. See you next match.